Hey everybody, welcome back to the Full Circle Network. I'm editor-in-chief of FullCircleCinema.com, Jackson Hayes, and today we're here to review episode 2 of Titans, titled Rose. This will be a spoiler review, because the embargo does not lift until the day the episode airs, so if you have not watched the episode, do so, and then come back and listen to our thoughts on it, and today I'll be joined by my managing editor, Markos Melendez.
Hey, what's up, guys? Super excited to discuss the second episode of the season 2. I wasn't on for the first review, but I'm on now. We can now spoil it. This is going to be pretty fun because I thought it was a pretty great episode. We also have lead news writer Jacob Campbell.
What's up, guys? Like Markos, I didn't get to be here last week for the premiere review, but I'm glad to be here this week. We got a great episode ahead of us. Jackson?
Yep, so we'll kick off. Again, this is a spoiler review, so the episode picks up about 3 months after the events of the first one, in which the Titans defeat Trigon and then go off on their separate ways to their various places, and with the main group ending up in Titans Tower in San Francisco. So they've been there for 3 months training, and that's where we pick it up. So Markos, we'll start with you. What were your initial thoughts from the time jump and then towards the beginning of the episode?
We were speculating this time jump a few months ago when it was in production, and it was actually kind of nice to see that was confirmed, and I do think the time jump was needed. We just give it more space from the first season. I know that the first episode of this season kind of dealt with the Trigon stuff, but now that's over. Now we have the full-on Titans team, and overall I thought it was a really good episode. I think this could have been the perfect first episode of the season. But I'm still happy nonetheless. We got introduced to a pretty major DC character in Rose. I thought she was pretty good in the episode. She has a nice introduction. And I like how she tied into the whole theme of the Titans. And yeah, overall, really enjoyed it. Specifically, I'm going to say the highlights. It's probably still Dick Grayson, Brenton Thwaites. And I like the Titans team themselves. They seem to be like a lot, more comfortable. And I really like the new dynamic with Jason Todd, with Beast Boy, Raven. I thought that was way better than the first season. I feel like we're also going into a better direction now. Like, it's pretty clear what we're working towards. We have Deathstroke. We have some new villains. We have Dr. Light, which was, he popped up here. And Deathstroke broke him out. That was pretty dope. We also had Shimmer, who was in it for like 2 minutes. She was alright. And I just feel like this episode was probably the most confident one so far in the entire series. Like, we know where we're going for, and it goes all out. And I think we were talking about it beforehand. And the best comparison to me, this is exactly how a Titans show should feel. It reminded me of the very first season of Young Justice, was the animated show. And yeah, I thought it's just exactly what you need. It was a pretty great episode. Rambling off here, Jackson, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on the same bandwagon you did. You stole my Young Justice line, which I used like hours ago, and then you wanted to steal from me, but that's fine. Yeah, it's kind of everything you wanted from a Titan show. It's basically a complete 180 from all the Trigon stuff. Even just from last week, it feels like a completely different show, which I think is what a lot of us wanted, and I'm glad they were able to pull it off. And the characters were able to mesh really well. Introduced us to a lot of new ones, but all the old ones and where they were, and what adventures they were off to, and then they were brought back together by this Dr. Light threat. That's clear that they dealt with him. The original Titans dealt with in the past, so they're all pretty afraid of him because they locked him up back then, I guess, and now he's been broken out by seemingly by Deathstroke. We can only assume, and yeah, I'm just excited for this threat to bring everyone back together, and hopefully we have some great action scenes going forward. But this was great. This is a great setup episode. I wouldn't describe it as filler, just because we had to set this stuff up, and this was the episode to do it. But like you said, I feel like this would have been a perfect season premiere, and we weren't really fortunate enough to get it that way. It was basically just at this point it just the second episode of the season that really should have been the first, with the first episode of the season should have been the last episode of the last one. But that's all water under the bridge at this point. I'm just excited to move forward, and the end of the episode got me super excited. Jason knows who Deathstroke is, and so we know that there's a history there, potentially between Batman and him, and Dick and him. So that moving forward, that'll be definitely something to look forward to. So Jacob, what do you think?
Honestly, I feel the same exact way you guys do. I thought it was a great episode. For me, this almost feels if it might sound weird, but like almost a reboot of the series. It feels a lot lighter in terms of tone. The character interactions just feel better. I loved a lot of the, like I said, the interactions between all the Titans. Dick Grayson, again, strong character as always. Loved his interaction with Batman, even though it was really short. I think they have a great dynamic. The other Titans, for me, Raven was a strong character this episode, along with Jason. I'm glad to see him interacting with the other characters. Even like with last season, Hank and Dawn are still strong characters for me. I love them on the show, along with Donna and Corey. All in all, I don't want to restate the same things you guys said. I just really liked the episode. Back to you, Jackson. Markos.
Yeah, I mean, that was just our overall thoughts, but I mean, we can dive in deeper here. I mean, the episode kicks off with right up from last week. We learned the Titans have been training for all this time, and they're getting a little cabin feverish, I guess. Jason's definitely not happy about being stuck in the tower for 3 months, and he's antsy to get out there and get into a fight. And then they're sort of given that opportunity. At least they will be here soon in the next episode for sure, with Dr. Light coming back. But so what do you guys think of, I guess, just the three different plot lines that sort of came together at the end, but that were introduced at first? Was the main group in Titan's Tower, and then Hank and Dawn living in a ranch in Montana or Wyoming or wherever they were, and then Corey and Donna teaming
in
up in Chicago to I guess for the last 3 months they've just been hunting down bad guys and hanging out, which is interesting for them because they only had brief interactions during the first season and the first episode of this season. So what do you guys think of those three different plot lines?
I thought at first, I think it was a really good way to kind of set the stage. We have like 3 completely different locations. It was nice just bouncing back in between. Nothing was getting old. My favorite one, of course, is going to be the Titans Tower stuff. Everything with Raven, Beast Boy, Jason. But I don't know. I'm not like completely in love with those side storylines yet. I like the Hank and Dawn. I like most of the Hank and Dawn stuff. I think there's some things that they kind of just made up in this episode. For example, the Hank stuff. I know that it seemed like he was addicted to drugs in the first season.
Yeah, they made it out like this made
it like a much bigger thing. He's already like gone through it.
And I guess the first episode kind of did too with the heroin.
They set it up in the first episode.
Fever dream kind of thing.
That was kind of weird. But now we see where they're going with it. I like the Corey and Donna stuff. I thought it was great. We have we didn't even talk about it. We have the big Easter egg drop. Donna mentions Roy Harper. That was so good. I know Jackson was excited.
I was super excited, and that was enough for me at that point. But then the fact that she took a phone call from him later on makes me think that we may, maybe not this season, but he's definitely he's around and he's active and he's somewhere in the universe. So hopefully we're gonna get some Roy Harper here. I love that character, and I love what they did with him on Young Justice, which I don't mean to keep bringing it back to Young Justice, but I just been watching some Young Justice before I watched the screener for episode 2, and it was just in the back of my mind, and the Roy character is really strong on that show. So I mean, bringing him on to this live action, not that the Arrow version isn't. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Arrow, but it's a different character than the one in the comic books, and I'd like to see it in this setting.
I know
I guess
you really love the Deathstroke from Arrow. This is a different version, so they're doing their own direction with it. Ray Harper, I think it's gonna be interesting. I want to see if he's actually gonna be like an original member of Titans. I feel like they're keeping it pretty vague of who was a member so far, and I feel like it's gonna be like a long time frame when they were young, they were Titans, and I feel like they're gonna be like some
those probably
that, went in and out. Yeah,
it's probably on purpose because in the first season they kind of painted themselves in the corner, and then this time they've had to retcon it around where the Titans were actually around and they were operating, because in the first season they didn't really tease that at all. So they're having to retcon it. So I'm sure they're trying to keep it open to have other members like a Wally West or Roy Harper, someone like that, to pop up later on.
Yeah, they can have it where. Yeah, they can maybe have it where they were like revolving members. It wasn't always a consistent team. That way they never have to stay stuck with one set team of characters, which that could be interesting to do that.
Yeah, we already know that Donna and Dick have a relationship as children. We saw during that flashback in season 1. So we know that they were hanging out when they were younger than they were in the Titans flashbacks. So there's definitely room for that there.
I'm going to assume we're going to see Aqualad later this season. Maybe each season bring back an old Titan. Maybe next season Roy Harper. Who knows? Maybe. Yeah.
We'll have to see how brief his. I mean, we haven't gotten 2 episodes, but we still haven't gotten Superboy, and we're 2 episodes in. And I'm sure that'll be in the next couple episodes. We still haven't got Jericho, hasn't popped up. There's still a lot to get to. We know there's going to be. I mean, in this episode they tease the Tamaran storyline, which we're going to get some of, which explains why in a lot of the promotional material Corey isn't around. She's clearly off on her own when all these Titans team up to fight Dr. Light and seemingly Deathstroke later on. But what do you guys think of Dr. Light? So it was kind of an interesting take on the character we saw. The powers were a lot different than we're used to in most of the incarnations.
You want to go ahead, Jacob, or not?
Yes. I thought the character was interesting. I like the way he uses powers where he just absorbs the light after he's broken out of his cell. It's kind of, I wasn't sure how they were going to go with it. It would just be his suit that gives him his powers. If they go straight up metahuman, but looks like that's the direction they're going to be going. I like that they're going with a seemingly a very sinister Dr. Light. Everyone remembers on Teen Titans he was always kind of the bumbling idiot villain, and not so much as he is in the comics where he's a little bit more darker. So I like that they're... And
on Flash they made him like she was a she, and they made her like just a random Earth 2 criminal who wasn't actually that bad. It was just kind of forced into a life of crime. So this is a much different version.
Yeah, so I like that they're going with that darker character for Titans, which fits with the tone of the show. It is a little bit darker than a lot of other superhero shows, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out for them and the character. I'm assuming it was Deathstroke that broke him out of jail. They didn't show him, but we just know he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 3 months, so we're to assume that Deathstroke is plotting something to take down the Titans, and he knew that Dr. Light faced off with them at one point, exactly. I guess. Which is also which kind of we haven't talked to our Rose a lot. I mean, she didn't have a ton to do, but she was kind of the focus of the episode.
Exactly. The title
with Dick bringing her into the tower and everything. But I mean, just based on this and with the time jump being confirmed. I have the sneaking suspicion that she's in league with Deathstroke, and this is a ploy.
That's my theory too.
To get close, which brought up one concern I sort of had in the episode. Dick was so quick to bring a stranger into a house and give up their secret identities.
It was weird, right?
That was kind of the first thing I was like, wait, that's the problem with Dick not having a secret identity at this point.
Yeah.
In the cartoons or in Teen Titans or something like Young Justice, they were always suited up. So, like, there was never that concern, but he's just running around in street clothes.
He's just hanging out. He's like, hey, here's our house. Here's all of us unmasked.
He's like, here's our house. Here's all the kids I take care of. Here are all their names. Hang out with them. You get your own room.
Security.
Like, and Jason takes 5 minutes to figure out that it's Deathstroke's daughter.
And here's my thing. Okay, so we're assuming that... It's not assuming. We kind of know that Deathstroke and the Titans have a history, and he's probably, maybe, I don't know, the reason the Titans broke up. That's my assumption.
It seems to be both. That he retired because of them, and they broke up because of him.
There's obviously information on Slade Wilson having a daughter. Wouldn't Dick know that he has a daughter, and maybe even know that she was his daughter?
But not even that. You take in a stranger, which good for you. And I guess what they may be playing with is that maybe she does betray him later on, and what they're going to play with is the fact that Dick has such a nice heart, and he's not Batman. He doesn't turn people away, so that's why he took her in. But the secret identity part of me is like, wait, dude, come on. Like, even in the first season, he barely used the Robin, the alter ego. He just kind of ran around in his street clothes as a cop, kind of beating people up. And it was like, I mean, come on, you gotta I guess, maybe they're not as concerned about seekers' identities on this show, but it seems like you wouldn't have to be. Especially when you'd find a random, young girl who has these kind of, he thinks she might be a metahuman, or she's clearly enhanced, which she is in the comics, but, it's really unclear what. He just kind of brought her in.
I feel like they're operating under the assumption that like Dick Grayson just wants to do it in a different way than Batman did it with him, and I feel like that's what they're trying to do.
I think that's what their point. I think that's the conversation he had with Raven in the room where she came in. And was like, no, I think it's a good idea to keep her. You've never found a bird with a broken wing you wouldn't want to fix. And it was like, I guess he's like pulling on the heartstrings, and he's like a good person. And that's the same conversation he had with Bruce, where he was like, we have different methods. But this method just seems kind of dumb to me.
He assumes everyone is Raven.
Because the entire episode he refuses to like look her up because he's like, I just want to know you. Like, you tell me who you are. Jason spends 5 minutes and learns that it's their mortal enemy's daughter. That's information you kind of need.
He hasn't evolved.
So he's not going to use his detective skills? Is that what you're saying?
Even the part where he's like, if I want to know who you were, I could figure it out. Well, why not do that just so you can have it, dude?
Right.
It took him 5 minutes.
Pretty much almost killed a cop.
Jason is more in tune and should be leading the team and not you.
Jason screenshot a photo of her face and plugged it into the computer for 5 seconds. That was it. You could have done that.
Literally. just sitting there, and he was like, "Oh my God, that's Deathstroke's daughter." And it's like, yeah, the computer did it for him. He didn't even have to figure it out. It just told him who the dad
Dick
was.
had to buy her coffee and a muffin to figure out her first name.
Yeah.
That was it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, geez, and it would have been cooler. You know, what would have been a good moment. Not to crap on the episode, because I did really enjoy it. It's just this one part just really bugged me. And I mean, we talked it up for the first 10 minutes. It would have been cool if at the same moment that she said my last name is Wilson, you know, Jason finds out on the computer at the same time, and it's like, oh my God, they both like figure it out at the same time. But it just kind of makes Dick look like an idiot because he doesn't figure it out.
I just find it's funny.
Like, Jason does it for him.
The first few minutes, we're like, this is honestly a great episode. I don't have any complaints. We get like 10 minutes in, we're like, all right, so I just got to say something.
Yeah,
We
once you
break
start
down the
thinking about
episode.
it.
Well, listen.
Honestly,
I'm sure
it's
that
terrible.
they're going to explain it the way they're going to explain it, which doesn't bug me a
Yeah.
ton. Is that Dick is appealing to the good side in him and is trying to take in people who are hurting, but like a complete rando, and you're not even going to do any kind of
She's a
background check.
metahuman.
Like, you're just going to
do
take
like
her
the
word for
fact that
everything.
They're kind of leaning into the metahuman stuff, and they do.
I mean, they dropped the word metahuman, which they hadn't
No, I
done
don't think
before.
so, no.
Pretty much explicitly say that she has the powers.
This is the first name drop.
Right, her healing is like incredible. Her eyes
Yeah,
apparently
she
already
just, you know,
healed.
Still doesn't have it.
I mean, which is interesting. I guess we're just gonna have to figure out how Jericho plays into this, because I wonder if he's gonna show up to try to get her. I don't know how long Deathstroke's gonna take to. Because you'd think Jason would immediately confront her. Like, as soon as he gets to see her again, he'll immediately confront her.
I think
about the fact that
this
she's
is my
Deathstroke's daughter, because it's such a danger.
my prediction. I think it's gonna be correct. Just because we were hinted at this like a month ago. I do think that since Jason and Beast Boy were talking about it, like they've been there for a while, like 3 months not doing anything, they're gonna go off after Deathstroke themselves.
I think they won't take the kids to take on Deathstroke.
Yeah, but I think
exactly.
they're gonna go.
Because I guarantee whatever
know what
happens with
Deathstroke is.
Aqualad,
they take
whether he's
on
dead or he was
Dr. Light and
injured
Deathstroke.
or
Everyone dies.
I
That's
mean,
the end of the series. That's it.
No,
well, that'd be a bummer.
it just this is a great episode, and I think that the most exciting part is.
Well, no, I'm very much looking forward to where they're going. I mean, that was one minor complaint that will be explained away when it happens, and I know it will. It's just in this context, it was kind of like, wait, what? But completely overall, I mean, we didn't touch on this, but I'll touch on it briefly. Was the dove stuff is really awesome. I was really excited to see that kind of stuff.
How
the
she
scene
can't
was
leave the
awesome,
character
where she breaks into the meth lab. All right, I thought it was really. It's a great character beat, but it was a great moment that she went in there and kicked all their asses, and made them call the cops on themselves, which was hilarious.
Made the fact like she can do it, he can't. Like that just created immediate.
Right, she steps up for herself. Like she knows that she can, but he can't because of his issues, and like I mean that's a fair thing and it's a fair beat, and I think it'll definitely play out as the season goes on because they got distracted with the whole Dr. Light blowing up that dude in their house thing. Yeah. But yeah, that dude holds a grudge, man. He blew up that kid.
I was just like he was just hanging. He was hanging with horses. Didn't do anything wrong.
At first, I was wondering if like the drugs he was dealing with had something to do
That
with
was my
Dr.
thought,
Light.
too.
But then, I was like, is there some like drug subplot? He's like, no, that dude just put light in that dude's body and blew him up. And I guess. And then I don't know what did he put in the car?
I don't know.
Was it like the bag of muffins?
Maybe it's
Did
the
he put a
coffee.
bomb in the bag of muffins?
Maybe it's the coffee.
It was the coffee. Like I was like, wait, what did he blow up in the car? But yeah, I mean, I'm pumped. I'm pumped for next week for sure. This is definitely a lot better than last week. Thank God, because this is what we wanted, and I was really, really hoping would happen. So I'm glad it did.
I think next week is titled Ghosts. If that
so I think
episode
we're
leak
getting
was-
started.
Yeah, so I
getting
think
A lot
I
of
think
flashbacks.
So
Flashbacks.
I think a lot of
We'll probably get the
flashbacks. I
original
think
team
more
and stuff.
Deathstroke and more Dr. Light for sure.
Yeah, we get some.
Just talking, Dick and Donna and Hawk and Dove will have to come out and explain what happened all those years ago.
Yep. Hopefully we get some
which will be
Deathstroke
exciting
stuff.
because that's what we want to see.
They teased
Maybe we'll
it
see some
here.
Robin stuff. Robin v
That'd be great.
Deathstroke.
I think we should get Nightwing soon, probably eventually. I think what was.
I keep thinking that, but
I
I'm just
feel like we're either going to get an episode 4 or 5. That's my guess.
I say
See,
6.
the problem with that is because we're gonna get Superboy in one of those episodes that I think they're gonna have to put it on the back burner. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well,
Honestly.
episode 5 is titled Deathstroke, and then episode 6 is titled Connor. So maybe episode 6 is the Superboy-centric one, and then we get Nightwing the episode before that.
It's entirely possible. I just know they need to hurry up and get on with it because He's been Dick Grayson for basically the better part of the entire 2 seasons, and I'm getting tired of it. He needs a flipping superhero identity.
We only wanted Titans for Nightwing. That's the only reason we wanted the show. That's all. The only reason we all just want Nightwing.
I mean, low key, sort of, because we've never seen Nightwing on screen. And I was like, yo, I want Nightwing. We're getting Nightwing, and we've been waiting around for 2 seasons for him to be Nightwing. How many scenes have we had where the interaction between Jason and Dick
like,
this week?
What are you?
Happened in
question.
the episode.
Like, what?
That exact conversation happened in the Jason Todd episode last season, which was episode 6.
Yeah, great episode.
Which
Best
was
episode
like,
of the season.
you know, he's like, listen, I know who I am. I fight with Batman and I kick ass. He's like, who the hell are you? That's the same conversation that
You
you
just
had.
can't figure it out.
You know,
10
less
episodes to
angry.
figure
It's been
it out.
months.
It's been 3 months and seemingly weeks or months since that interaction, that episode. So, like, come on, guys. Can you think about it a little more? Like, get the suit, dude. Get the suit.
I'm thinking hopefully just halfway through he gets the suit, and if we get like
Just
more
in a random
horror stuff
episode, he
after
just-
that.
I mean, we know we'll have it
He
by
just
the
shows
end,
up
but,
dressed
like,
as Nightwing
I
in the
just-
one comments.
I want it now. Like, come on. Stop teasing me.
No. But yeah.
All right, well, I
think
guess,
so.
any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I'm gonna say
wrapped it up.
my personal favorite. I think I like him a lot more than the first season. Even though he was fine in the first season, I think he's even better here. Is Breton Thwaites. I feel like he's like doing a lot more now. He's not so like grim and dark and depressed. And
Well, I think that goes for everybody. Not everybody's
yeah.
so
This
depressing.
goes it goes for everyone, especially Raven. I think
Mhm.
just overall,
Raven, she was so much better in this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
I know I kind of crapped on her, but a lot of that had to do with the first season stuff they left in there.
yeah, everyone
This was
seems
so much better
more
in a
comfortable.
million ways.
It's
Yeah.
just, it seems like it's just a much better. This feels more confident. It feels like we know exactly where we're going, and that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, where can let's start with you, Jacob. Where can they find you on the social media?
They can find
Let's
me
talk
on Twitter.
Eternals on Twitter.
Shut up. They can find me on Twitter at JacobCamp13. Please don't follow me on Let's Talk Eternals. I can't have any more followers on there. Markos, what about you?
At BizGamer9. Find my hot takes about Titans. You, Jackson.
Yeah, okay. You can find me on Twitter at JacksonHayes67. You can follow the page at Full Circle Cine. We're currently doing an Avengers in-game digital code giveaway. We're giving away 3, so check out that tweet if you care to get a digital code. And make sure to follow the site, fullcirclecinema.com. Make sure to like and subscribe
Make sure
and
to
leave
like
a comment.
Facebook.
We got a lot of interaction. Oh yeah,
Hey,
go
the
like
Facebook,
we
yeah.
just newly launched a Facebook, so go like our Facebook, and that'll help you enter the contest if you read the tweet. But yeah, just keep up the traction with the video. We got a lot on the last one, and we were super excited and happy about it. So keep it up, and we'll keep
And
doing
comment
reviews.
below. I wanna know.
Yeah, comment. What was your favorite part of the episode?
How badly do you want
I'll
Nightwing?
wait.
Let us know.
I'll wait. Answer.
Yep. That's it. Bye.
All right.
Did you
Well,
answer?
we'll catch you next week. Did you answer?
Did you answer it? Go on.